there was one gig I did one time where it was like very misleading what goes to charity and how much. Like this guy was it was
most of them.
Yeah, I did this one. It was like for breast cancer research or something, the show. And then afterward, he was selling these shirts that said like something about boobs, some dumb joke or whatever. And, we love boobs, or, But then people were buying the shirts like crazy because they all thought it was going to charity. I was like, do you give that? He's like, I don't give any of it. 100, not 1% of it goes to charity. I was like, man, that is the scam of the century. Yeah.
That's bad karma, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, how's it going? Everything else good?
Everything else is good. I've done that. I've done like cancer charities where I'll have CDs from just the road, and I'm like, oh, I'll sell, and then I'll give half of my sales to whoever, and then I'll literally take the cash and give half to whoever hired me and be like, hey, this is half of my sales. And they're like, oh my God, so thankful. But I always feel bad if like I literally sell one and then I gotta be like, hey, do you have change for a 20 so I can give you half of my.
Right. I give you. Then you're so embarrassed you're going out of pocket,
Right. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I only sold 4. So here's $50. They're like, wow, that's not very much. Well, it's a lot. Okay. I'm digging pretty deep here.
It's all I can afford to give.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks everybody for listening. This is episode 2, I think, officially.
If we put them out in the order we record them, that is.
Right. We don't know. This could be episode 50 if we get that far. If this one really sucks, we're going to push it to the back of the queue. So this is the Cavalry. Thanks for listening. Johnny, what do you need backup on this week? What's going on?
All right. Well, let's see. The first one. Okay. Well, the first one is a little more serious than the other one. The first one we'll go with. So I was having a discussion with a buddy, and his big theory is whether or not older siblings should be expected to babysit as growing up. I'm from a family of 7. You're from what? One of 3?
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I have an older brother and a younger brother.
Okay, yeah, and I'm in the middle. I got 2 older sisters, 2 younger brothers, and then 1 older brher, 1 younger sister. Anyway, so I'm in the middle of
it sounds like you're making it up. You're like, and a couple other ones. Who cares? It doesn't really matter. But the point is,
right? I'm in the middle of a lot.
Right.
And so we grew up. My parents got to go out. They're like, oh, whatever. Okay, you have to babysit. And the person my buddy's telling me this is like, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. Like, they didn't ask. They didn't ask for you to have another kid.
Yeah.
Whereas my theory is you didn't ask for it. You didn't ask to be born. You're born, really? You can't babysit when your parents want a night out.
Yeah.
His theory is, they didn't ask to be born, or they didn't ask for you to have a kid. So how is it their fault that they should babysit? And I'm like, that's a small price to pay.
I'm with you. I think let me ask you a question though. Did your opinion on this change when you had kids? Because now you're probably looking ahead and you're like, my kids better be willing to babysit each other because that's going to benefit you. When you were younger, would you have had the same opinion?
I'm not looking ahead at all. I already have my 7-year-old babysitting a 1-year-old. This is real time here.
Right. Babies watching babies.
Yeah, babies watching babies.
It's like school. You just have to stay 1 grade ahead. Like if you're 5 years old, you can watch a 4-year-old. You know everything that needs to happen.
You know what it's like. It's funny because I have my wife's working, she's in the office like doing all these meetings, so she's basically not there to watch people. So I'm watching the kids during the day, and I just booked one of those Zoom shows for tomorrow afternoon. So like, all right, now Edie, you're gonna have to watch Phoebe for about 20 minutes.
And he's got some very important
I gotta
work to
sneak
do.
in the basement and do a show.
Would that be the hardest way to explain to the paramedics why you weren't watching your kids? No, I was in the basement. I do stand-up comedy for a quasi-charity into my computer for about 8 people who work for some tech company in Phoenix. It was very important. And I made $40.
Yeah, I'll keep stressing that it was for feeding America.
Right. It was for feeding America. So, no, I'm of course, I'm 100% with you. Kids should do whatever their parents say all the time. I was a bad kid. So, yeah, I mean, I threw like temper tantrums all the time as a kid, legendarily picky eater, just hard to parent. So I recognize it now, and I know how hard parenting is. And I mean, it looks hard anyway. I don't have to worry about it.
Did you have to babysit? How much older are you than your?
Yeah, so I'm 5 years older than my younger brother Mark, so I babysat him quite a bit.
Okay.
And then my older brother is 2 years older than me. I don't think he ever really. I don't remember him really babysitting me. They probably just decided about the same time, like, we just don't need a babysitter anymore. Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, of course the kid, because I mean, do you pay like, or is it unpaid? So it's like forced, but then we'll pay you, or is it just unpaid and forced?
I can say it's fair to pay them, but I mean, the discussion, I think in his mind, the discussion was paid or not, you can't force it. Like if the older one wants to, then they can, but you can't say, well, you have to because me and mom have plans. Yeah. It's not like, oh, you can't go to prom because we want to go to the Olive Garden. I mean, it's just like, come on.
But then by that logic, you can't force them to do anything. You can't force them to take out all chores are off the table at this point. They can't make them take out the trash.
Thank you. That's a solid argument. I like that.
You can't make them sew wallets in the basement for our shop. We're trying to run a business here.
Yeah, they didn't ask to start that business, but I mean, still, come on.
Right. But you were born into the family business.
Right.
Yeah. Good. No. You have to be able to force your kids to do labor, or else the whole system falls apart.
Yeah. We wouldn't have families anymore. There would be no more humans, because why would anyone make people anymore?
Yeah. You're basically making little laborers.
Right.
You're trying to make your life. I mean, if farmers, it's like, you want people on the farm. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing Zoom gigs, you want kids to watch your other kids to keep them quiet for 20 minutes. It's a fragile, delicate economy, but we've built it upon, it's just like America. We built America on unpaid labor, and now it continues. The tradition continues with children, forced labor. It's not really great, but I'm with you. I'm 100% backed up.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You can.
I mean, I'm going to use your argument as far as it would apply to anything.
Right. Yeah, because that's true. Like, do they do other chores? Do you make them clean the room and stuff like that? Because that's
that opens up a whole nother can of worms. I mean, just going off on a tangent, like with my kids, it's important for us to make them clean their rooms, and we never do, because it's 10 times more work for the parent to make the kid clean their own room versus, all right, just get out of my way. I'll clean your room. It'll take a few seconds.
I understand that, because when I was a kid, I used to think that all the time. It's like, why does it matter if it's my room? Why do I have to clean my room? It's messy. I live in the mess. That's my problem, So
my parents were lucky, because I was a nerd. I was like I was the neat freak. Like, I would always.
Oh, really?
Organized. I'd get mad when I'd come home from school because my little brothers played with my G.I. Joes. I'd be like, who was in here? My little brothers messed it up.
My room was so messy, and then my dad built a built-in desk. He made it out of wood. It was a really nice thing, but he hadn't finished it yet. He finished the wood, but he hadn't put stain on the top of it, and so it was just raw wood, sanded down with just raw wood. And then I was in 6th grade, I think. I just started using it as a spare notebook, doing math,
on the wood,
writing down phone numbers, because you didn't, back then you needed phone numbers, and I just use notes and just completely disregard for all the craftsmanship and the effort and work he put into it.
Was it like it was just like, okay, don't I'm someday I'm gonna finish this, or was it like this is
Yeah.
finished, don't
Well, you know
write
how it
on
is. Yeah, I mean, he was taking his time. I mean, it wasn't
it? I
like
guess so.
I was like in right behind him and then messing it up. I mean, there were a few weeks there, and he could have
Yeah.
finished it. So I did give him an opportunity to finish it, but then it
Huh.
just became my crappy day. Yeah, I had a horribly messy room. It was disgusting. Uh, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm
All
with
right.
you. Back it up.
All right. What do you got? I'm
I got
excited
one.
to back it up.
Speaking of like trying to make money and stuff, I was I picked up some landscaping work to like make extra money and not do these because these Zoom gigs don't pay that great. So I went on Craigslist and I was like, it would just be great. It'd just be kind of like fun, be outside, work. I got nothing to do all day. Right.
Yeah.
So if they pay cash, great. So I responded to this one Craigslist dude. And I show up. He's like, have you ever laid sod before? I'm going to tell you a little backstory before I get into the problem.
Okay.
He's like, have you ever laid sod before? And I haven't really. But I said yes that I had, because I was just like, it's how hard could it be? You just roll.
Right.
It's like just a big roll of sod. You just roll it out, right? And you line them up, whatever. And so I show up, and it's just like this one dude, Joe. He's got like no teeth, right? He's running the show, and it's just at his house. And then we're gonna go from his house to where the job was. And then there's this other dude, Chris. And so I go, and I'm like, they're like, have you done this before? And I was like, yeah, but it was like a long time ago. So I'll just follow your guys' lead, And he goes, oh no, you'll be our expert. We've never done this. So
I like how you said it was a long time ago. Like, if there's ever a reason you wouldn't know an answer to a question, you can pull that out. Like, oh no, this wasn't been so long ago. I don't remember.
Yeah. That's the ultimate bullshitter. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was just a long. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I don't know.
Right.
You know who the sixth president was? Nah, I did, but that was just a long time ago. So then they're like, do you want to watch a YouTube video? And I'm like, God, this is ridiculous. I don't want to watch a YouTube video. But this dude, Chris, so we do the job. This dude, Chris, is really good. He watched the YouTube videos, and he was great. He was an expert. I followed his lead, and we got the job done. So then I went again. So this is where my you tell me if I did this right, but we could do this other job. And it's like, I went again. So this is only done it twice. I went the second day, and they want me
Same guys?
the same worker, Joe and Chris, but then we're on a different job site now. And we're at this house, and it's like this hoarder guy, and he's trying to sell his house, but it's like the yard is full of trash and weeds everywhere, and he just wants it cleaned up. He has some specific things, but then, Chris is trying to clean it up. He's trying to get rid of the trash, but the guy wants to keep everything, and I'm just doing what the dude told us to do. So he's like, cut the hedges and clear out these sticker bushes, whatever. So I'm doing that. So he comes to me and he's like, hey, you're doing a great job. But he's mad at this dude, Chris. He thinks he's working too slow because he's paying us hourly, right? So he's upset. And but I didn't tell him this. And I told Chris and Joe earlier, but I was like, I got to leave by 2 because I had to do a Zoom gig. Mm-hmm. And I left. So when it came up to 2:00, this guy's getting madder and madder at Chris, and he's telling me to like tell Chris what to do. But I was like, I'm not telling Chris what to do. You know what I mean? I don't. And Joe's not there, so I left. So
it's just you and Chris.
It's just me and Chris.
Okay. And
I had to leave at 2, and so Joe was like, "Well, can you talk to this dude?" I was like, "I'm not going to talk to the owner of the house." So I just, when 2:00 came, I just left. I didn't tell the guy at the house. I didn't tell Chris. I just took off and left. So then I get a call from Joe. He's like, did you not talk to the job site guy? He's pissed off because you just left. And I was like, well, what? Yeah, I told you I was leaving at 2. I got to like clear it with him. It's like, you're the boss. And he's like, yeah, you should have talked to him because now he's mad. He's stuck with the guy he didn't want, that he thought he was doing a bad job. And like now he's not going to pay the same. But I was like, I told you guys I was going to leave at 2. So I guess what I'm saying is it okay to just do what I did, to just leave without clearing it?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a job you found on Craigslist, cleaning someone's garbage out of their yard.
Right.
I would have backed you up if you would have said you were shitting in his gutters. You can do whatever the hell you want. I don't know why you even cleared it with this Joe guy.
It's so crazy because I'm there and I'm feeling that. I don't know if you get this. Maybe it's just me, but it doesn't matter what it is. I'm feeling like, oh my God. And I'm thinking about it. And then I really had a moment of like, what? I'm never going to see this guy again. You know, Toothless Joe, he might not survive the day. Why am I worried about what these people think? He's paying. They don't have my phone number. They don't have my social security. I could disappear. But I was so wrapped up in it, you know, because I just want to do a good job. I just want people to like me, you know. I have a lot of that, so
yeah. You don't want to get that ding on your resume.
No, yeah, I want a good reference. I want a good reference for my next landscaping gig. But I like doing it. I'm gonna go again on Saturday. They're having me back. Even though they're mad, he's gonna have me back on Saturday, so I'm gonna go again.
Oh, see, that's fun. That's what I would do. I would do that, just odd random jobs.
It's great. I got nothing to do during the day. It pays cash. Believe it or not, it's all under the table. Don't listen, IRS.
Right.
And yeah, so I'm gonna go again Saturday. Hopefully they're not mad. I think Chris was a little annoyed, and Joe.
Did he ever find out that the guy did not like him?
The guy was vocal about that, and they were getting, because he told Chris what to do all the time, but Chris just wanted to do what he wanted to do. He's like he has a little artistic expression to him, so he wanted to make it look nice. Whereas I go, because like for instance, we were loading up this trailer, and the guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna haul away this." He's very cheap, the client, so he's like, "I'm gonna haul it all away myself." So it's like, okay, cool, whatever. We'll haul. But his trailer is like low to the ground. It's very stupid to fill. It's like a box trailer that's low to the ground. So it's like it would be. It's not easy to dump out anything.
Right.
Debris, and he had a ton of debris. So he put 2 tarps down. He's like, yeah, I'll just take it to the dump and I'll slide the tarps out. But then Chris was saying, there's going to be so much weight. You're not going to be able to pull these tarps. It's going to be too heavy.
Yeah.
And I was like, and to me, Chris was very worried about this. And to me, I was like, who gives a shit? We're not going to be there. What do you
his problem.
He wants them in the truck. Just put it in the truck. What are you arguing with the guy about?
Like the guy's going to get there, realize he's got a bad situation and be like, oh, those guys I hired should have told me that I was going to have a problem by myself later.
I mean, I don't know. I used to work at Best Buy years and years ago for a short time, and I worked in like the back with the boxes and everything, and like all these dudes worked so hard. They would work so hard, and they would get on me for going too slow. I was like, "What? Do you guys have stock options or something? Why do you care?" You think Mr. Buy is like worried about us? You know, go take your time.
Oh my God.
Be safe. But yeah, so I'm gonna go. I'll report back, but I'll tell you how it goes on Saturday and see if they're mad at me. But they're clearly desperate because they're having me again.
That's funny with the unloading. The guy, my mom used to, because my buddy in high school, my buddy had a truck. And so whenever we had a bunch of garbage, my mom would just be like, hey, call Mike Coles. Have him come over. Tell him to bring his truck. You got to get rid of that old bed and that old, you know, like, what? So I'd have to call my buddy. And then just because we were young, stupid, you know, careless, selfish idiots, we would load up, you know, whatever my mom wanted in the back of the truck. And then we would just go driving around roads where no one's on them at the time with the bed of the truck down and just swerving left and right until it all flew out behind us. Just because we thought it was fun to watch it fly out into the road.
Did you have them that never resulted in any sort of consequences? No one ever
found out.
There were never any cars
years
around?
Later, when I would tell stories about it, no.
Oh, okay.
Because we would like go to the side streets by the high school, or we'd drive around our high school parking lot, just spinning around, watching it fly around at the parking lot.
That is the thing. When you have a truck, your weekends are ruined for the. Why would anyone buy a truck?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You're the truck guy. If you own a truck, you're the guy with the truck, and everyone's going to call you to the end of your life to haul stuff away.
Yeah, you're gonna have it's gonna be convenient. You know what? One time a year when you need a truck, and then every other time it's gonna be inconvenient because you're gonna constantly have to tell people no or yes and do their manual labor.
Don't buy the truck. Just be the jerk who borrows the truck from the other guy.
Right. It's like a boat. Don't buy a boat. Just have a friend that has a boat.
It's like
There
a
you
boat.
go.
There you
Same
go.
thing.
Yeah. So, all right. You have another one? You have another?
This might be quick. I don't know. This as far as this one.
Okay.
But I want to get your thoughts. It's just a discussion I've had with many people. So I've always thought I just started running during the quarantine, and just a little fun fact: I've ever run in my entire life. Yesterday, I ran.
How far?
6.5 miles.
Whoa.
I know.
Are you sore?
Yes, it's brutal. So I always toy with the idea of running a marathon sometime in my life. I always think, oh, I could do that until I'm like, one block into any run I've ever done. Like while you're running, you're like, oh, I could never do a marathon. But when I'm not running, I'm like, whatever.
6 miles though, is it? What? So what's a marathon?
A marathon is 26.2 or something.
How does anyone ever do that? Ever?
I don't know. They're stupid.
Ugh.
So this is you run I've gone to marathons because I have like a lot of my family is all run marathon, my uncles and all that, they're all lunatics. But like one thing if you go watch a marathon, you see people and they wear like, some people wear costumes or they wear shirts, like my dad and his brothers would wear ones with like Big Bad John, and then my brother would have a jersey like Big Bad Mike. So people always cheered, oh, go Big Bad Mike or whatever. So I thought that it'd be funny to like, if you're running a marathon, to wear a shirt that says "Ask me about my shithole," and because I think that'd be hilarious, and like that would be running 26 miles, just constantly seeing people's reaction to your shirt as they read it. So my question, I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm often met with, well, that would get old, and you'd get irritated, you'd be tired, and you'd get irritated by mile, 3 or 4, and I think
but that's the beauty of a marathon or like a parade or whatever. It's like Snoopy, yeah, if you had to look at Snoopy for all 3 hours, you're gonna go, this sucks.
Right.
But you got the whole parade route, you've got all these new customers coming every mile, who haven't seen the Ask Me About My Shithole shirt. So they're saying you might get tired of it because people like, how's your shithole?
They think that as I'm like lugging up a hill and people for 2 hours have been, yelling with your shithole. Tell me about your shithole. that I would get irritated and lash out.
You're like, I'm sick of it. I've heard it a million times. Well, why'd you wear the shirt? I don't know.
I thought it'd be funny. Everybody warned me.
No, I don't think. I think you're going to be if you're in a marathon, you're so tortured by a million other things. There's no way you're going to be, that is going to be your least of your problems. You're probably not even going to hear them after a while.
Yeah.
No.
It'll just become background noise.
What?
It'll be weird when you're done, when people aren't asking you about your shithole. Then you'll start to feel like, what's going on? Something's weird. Right.
Because it's like that thing where a famous entertainer or something has a catchphrase, and then they're like, I'm sick of my catchphrase. Don't yell it out during shows. But then people they're not famous anymore, and they're like, remember my catchphrase?
Right.
Remember Ask Me About My Shithole? That was me. Like, oh yeah, we've heard it. We
saw that at
remember.
6.
Don't you want to know about it? No. You ran a 7-hour marathon. We're not. We've digested it now. We had its run. And why ask me about my shithole? Why did that?
Well, can you?
What's the origin of that?
What would be the worst? I think it probably stemmed from me just trying to think of like the thing that you would see people, it'd be fun to watch people read. Like people like, oh, it's Big Bird. Hey, Big Bird. Oh, it's Super Dave. Hey, good job, Super Dave. And just seeing people be like, what the fuck? For 7 hours. A treat. Like, what can you think? What would you think would be? If it wasn't going to say, ask me about my shithole. What would you
I can't top ask me about my shithole. I'm not even going to try. This is just so perfectly stupid, because then people are going to take it to like, oh, is he talking about where he lives? It's like, you live in a shithole, or is he talking about his actual like? Because when you run, people talk about shitting themselves during marathons. So there's like,
Right.
I don't know where my head's going with that, but
People would be trying to make too much sense out of it. Like, wait, why
what
would
is it?
he?
Is that like a charity thing? Is that like Live Strong? You can sell bracelets. Ask me about my shithole. They're like, what does that mean? Is he raising money for something? No,
Okay. No, he's just a lunatic.
he just thought it would be funny and that it wouldn't get old.
Yeah, and then he
For
passed
the
out at mile 7 and got carried away in an ambulance. And
no,
all the
I think
EMTs
you should.
are asking him about his shithole.
I think you should go for it. I think if you run a marathon, I will sponsor your Ask Me About My Shithole shirt. We'll get a whole thing going. You can run it for not for like you can run it for fake charity. I don't know. We'll come up with something, but we'll get some.
I'll run it for the Cavalry.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. That'll put us on the map. They're like, why didn't you wear a shirt that said the Cavalry? I don't know. You had to be there for the
Right. Didn't you see episode 2? Are you not a diehard?
It makes sense. You're not a Cavalier if you don't know why.
Right.
Okay. Well.
All right. I got your support on that one.
Oh yeah, we're 3 for 3.
Nice.
I think you're gonna back me up on this last one too. I don't know.
All
right. So again, another one about food. The first one I had 2 about food, but this one so my wife is very sensitive to strong smells. She doesn't like really strong like colognes or perfume, like strong smells in general. Onions, she's not a big onion person, all this stuff. But it's so sensitive to where I love spicy food. I love like all different ethnic, because it's funny, I was a really picky eater when I was a kid, but now I'm like, I love everything. Spicier the better. Onions, whatever, really strong salsa, all that stuff. But my wife says, even if like I eat the food, I brush my teeth, like 12 hours can go by, and she's like, it's coming out of your pores. She's like, if I have like an onion, she's like some sort of like it's like a superpower. She could tell exactly what I ate like a day ago. And so it's affected. So it gets to the point where she's like, why did you eat that salsa earlier? You knew, like, if we had a romantic evening plan or something, why would you do that? I was like, it doesn't factor in. I don't make the one-to-one connection. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm sitting down going, oh, no, I shouldn't eat this food I like, because then a day from now, my wife won't want to be near me,
Right. Yeah.
Maybe over time I can drill it into my head that I'll be, but my contention is that I'm not even saying like I'm not, like I'm willing to avoid certain foods to avoid this problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to.
You're saying you are willing to avoid.
I'm willing to do it, but it's like I don't want to be like in trouble for not. It's a hard thing to remember, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right, like if you're out at breakfast with a bunch of friends and you have a date night the next evening.
Right, and then you're like, oh shit, I had onions. I didn't know. It's like the waiter. I was like, was there jalapenos in this? He's like I have an allergy or something. He's like, no, I'm trying to get laid tomorrow.
Trying to get laid tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, first of all, it sounds like your wife has like a superpower.
No, she is. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it. She's like, and she's always right too. She doesn't miss. It's not like I would love to catch her and like, oh, did you have jalapenos? And like, no, it was a Denver omelet. No jalapenos. But no, nice, it never happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Do you like, is it a combination of her having the superpower and you, like your body just absorbing
it might wow,
and holding on to it for a day?
I come for you for backup, not for speculation that I just smell worse than the average person. But yeah, no, that thought has crossed my mind. But I mean, there's no way for me to really know, I
Right.
wouldn't know if I stink, But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking. It's not like a breath thing either. I know people think, "Oh, you just brush your teeth." It's like it's not that. It's not
No,
breath.
I know what you mean because
Yeah,
my
yeah,
wife said the same thing. It just I not 2 days later, or
yeah.
she'll say it a little later, but yeah, she'll be like, it just your pores, you smell, and like a shower. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like there's nothing you can do once you eat it. A shower's not going to help because
Right.
that's not. It's coming out.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of cleanser. Like, I guess it just takes time. I don't know. I was trying to think of if there could be a product that you could like flush your
Yeah.
system, but I guess that exists. Just
When I used to work at a pizza place called Zio's Pizza in high school, and someone dared me to eat a baseball-sized glob of liquid, garlic, like chopped in liquid, And I was like, oh, that's gross. But in my head, I was like, you know what? Down the hatch, I'll swallow it, and then everyone owes me 20. I think I made $40 for it, and I was a waiter. I smelled for probably a week and a half. Just there's nothing you can, because it's in
Right.
me. It is part of me.
It's a part of you now.
It's just
you're more garlic than host.
right.
There was a, like, I forget where it was, but there's this thing where like if someone lost a bet or something on the radio and they had to eat an entire onion, like an apple, just a raw onion, like
Yeah.
I thought about that, and it was like this thing, and they like throwing up and all this. And I was like, I think I could do that. I can never do that because my wife would divorce me,
Right.
but I think I could physically do it.
You still think you physically?
I still think I could, just if it were just me, but I couldn't put my wife through the ordeal.
Oh, yeah.
Could you eat a whole raw onion?
For how much? I feel like I could physically.
Well, I don't know
if my motivation was correct, but I'm not going to do it just to find out if I could do it.
For $25.
No.
No.
I'll just do a Zoom show.
You can just work for Toothless Joe.
Yeah. Right.
Lay some sod.
I don't like onions, or not onions, tomatoes. I have a distaste for tomatoes so much that I've been offered $20 to eat a half a tomato, and I couldn't.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I don't know if it's the taste or texture, but couldn't do it.
Man, I was the pickiest eater when I was a kid. Tomatoes, onions, all that stuff, and I just at some point in like high school, it all went out the window. Now I eat everything. Yeah. To my wife's dismay.
I'm more of a hot dog guy, as you know. As you've witnessed for 2 weeks straight, 3 meals.
Right. Johnny loves hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They can just be plain. He doesn't need onions on them. All right. So where do you land? Am I in the wrong? I have to like.
No, I definitely support you. And
okay.
I mean, I don't know what's like, if you had to define what's the argument? Like that's a terrible position that you're in, but are you saying she doesn't have the right to?
No, I'm saying you can't get mad. Yes, you can ask. I can try.
I'm on your side. Of course, yes.
But you can't get you can't get angry, It's like you're asking for this extra thing, and if that's not in stock, it's like, well, we tried, couldn't make it happen.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm behind you.
Oh, I love it.
For sure.
4. This is where it's meant to be.
This is why we did this. This is what this is all about.
That's what this is all about. Just reinforcing our own bad behavior.
Yep. So next I'm gonna have to catalog all of our topics. So next time me and my wife get in an argument, like, hang on, I gotta.
He had something for this. Ask me about my shithole.
Yeah,
I had support for that. I remember.
Andrew said it would be funny for 26 miles.
That won't get old.
Yes.
All right, man.
All right.
Well, that's it. That's the Cavalry. Thanks everybody for listening. I think this was episode 2, but maybe I shouldn't say that. We can cut this out if it's not episode 2, I suppose. But That's it. That's the show. Thanks for listening and watching. If you're watching, That was good. If you're listening,
Tune in next week for episode 6, maybe. Who knows?
yeah. We're gonna do, and then the next one's gonna be a best of. We're taking a few weeks off. We're gonna cut together the best bits and do a little tribute. So look out for that. It'll be very short. All right, man.
All right, man. Well, thanks it's nice because I always feel I leave the podcast feeling more confident than when
I feel great. I'm gonna go eat a big thing of garlic and wash it down with some V8.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna order and ask me about my shipping shirt.
Let me know how that goes. Okay, man. See you later.
See ya.